Hey again everyone, we are going to start on problem 2. So let's read it together, and I would grab your highlighter. So let's highlight things together, and it says, Lauren's produces designer dog collars. She expects to sell 60,000 in the month of April, 75 in May, 70,000 in June, and 65,000 in July. The company desires the inventory on hand at end of each month be equal to 40% of the next month's expected unit collar sales. So that's important too. We actually want to make sure that we put unit sales. So we want to look for that. It says, due to excessive production during on March 31st, there were 25,000 collars in ending inventory. Awesome. Okay. So now what we want to do is to prepare a production budget for April, May, and June. So let's do that. So I like to, as you probably saw in my last videos, I like to lay out my production budget before I get started. I just think it's a lot easier, and we know what we're looking for. So the sales forecast, so the units that we had, we put, let's see, we had 60,000 in April, we had 75,000 in May, and we had 70,000 in June, and 65,000 in July. So in the last video, I kind of talked about like a ghost month. July is what I would call a ghost month. So we're gonna do a little bit with July, but it's really just there to give us information for April, May, and June. So the first thing that I want to do is determine the required ending inventory. So the way we did that before, well, first off, it shows us here that 40% of the next month of the sales. So, and this is the sales forecast, so that's perfect. So we would want to do 40% of the following month. So I like to draw arrows like this. These are just reference arrows though, they're not necessary. So I like to do this, but this is totally up to you. I mean, obviously, if we were in a company, it wouldn't look like that, like they wouldn't nicely put it, but I just think it's easy. So I'm just gonna fill these numbers in. So 75,000 times 40% is 30,000, and then 28,000 here, so that's 70 times 40%, and then 65,000 times 40% is 26,000. Okay, so now I have my sales forecasted units and I have my required ending inventory. So what do I do next? I have to actually add those two together, because that tells me what I need to do in the month, and then it tells me what they want me to do for the next month, so we're prepared. So those added together, so we have 90,000. This number is 103,000, and then 96,000. Okay, so now I need to determine the beginning inventory. So if you're not really understanding this is something you're probably going to have to memorize. If you kind of understand the process of what a production budget is, you may be able to just not worry about memorizing it and just be able to regurgitate it, but just make sure that you have it at least memorized for the test. So for ending inventory, what we would do is we kind of use these arrows again. So I'm going to do it this way this time. So we would bring this right here, and we're actually going to, this might help, put less beginning inventory, because the beginning inventory has already been completed, so I don't have to worry about doing that next month. So I actually am also going to put it in parentheses just so I know that I want to take it away. I think a lot of people kind of miss that they're actually supposed to take it away. So if you want to put less right here, or if you want to do both and put parentheses, whatever you want to do so that you remember that we need to take it out. So it looks like we have a problem because I don't have anything for April. So what do? I actually was given this number in my problem. So it says 25,000 collars in the ending inventory as of March. So as I said in one of the previous videos, an ending inventory for a month is the beginning inventory for the following month. So that's the beginning inventory. So that would be 25,000 here. So that problem was solved really quickly. Okay, so now I want to know what my total required production is. So what would I have to do? I would actually just take the beginning inventory away from the total needed. So these parentheses kind of do that, but that just gives us kind of a reference. So because I had my beginning inventory, I already made those, so my total needed wouldn't need to I wouldn't need to make 25,000 extra. So I want to take those out because I already have them. So this would give me 65,000 and then 73 for right here. Ooh, I didn't do that right. 73,000 and then 68,000 over here. Okay, so we have our production budget for April, May, and June. And again, you can have these arrows here. If you want to make it prettier, if you want to do that just for reference and erase them at the end, that might be better. But this just helps with when I try to do a production budget. All right, hopefully that was helpful.